I think he's kind of taken this team to a new level. Obviously, with his he dove on the floor for 2 different. Just sets a standard for the rest of the play. That hard getting on the floor. Else better measure up as well.
Has no. Little stops on a dime. You're a little more aggressive on the offense. Did 5 shots, had 7 points Saturday. Early in this game. Big 12 in assists.
And how about this for a point guard? He's not double-digit. Halftime.
See if it'll be.
I'm always the end of this.
for the love of the Invincibles. Leverkusen.
Wright grew up in Southern California, attending Lusinger High School, which he led to a state championship in his senior season and was named the CIF Southern Section Player of the Year. Before arriving in Salt Lake City, Wright played 2 years at San Francisco City College and was named the Coast Player of the Year in his final season in the Bay. After fielding many offers from Pac-12 schools, Delon Wright chose to play for Larry Krystkowiak and the Utes. And it turned out to be one of the most important players of that era for the Runnin' Utes. In his junior season, first on the Hill, Wright was outstanding in running the Utes for the point guard spot. He was named All Pac-12 First Team and All Pac-12 First Team Defense, while leading the league in steals. In his senior season, Wright took his game to another level, again being named First Team All Pac-12 and First Team All Pac-12 Defense, as well as consensus Second Team All-American, and topped the year by winning the Bob Cousy Point Guard of the Year award, while guiding the Utes to the Sweet 16. Later that year, Wright was taken 20th overall in the 2015 NBA Draft by the Toronto Raptors. Wright is in his 10th season as an NBA player, having played for 9 teams along the way. Delon Wright, Utah basketball legend.
Ravens. I'm Chris Sylvester. Both of these teams did a great job of giving and sharing in the opening 20 minutes.
No question. Great ball movement, great spacing by the Runnin' Utes. 14 assists, only 3 turnovers. They've got 18 field goals on 14 assists. And watch this as just has become habit, giving up a good shot to get a great shot. great draw on kicks, great unselfishness, and as I mentioned before, great spacing around the perimeter. Mike Sharafjom's coming off the bench tonight, just having an outstanding game, leading all scorers with 13 points. But they're running you 7 different players who have gotten an assist, one of the best assist-to-turnover ratios in the entire nation.
Utah wound up shooting 54%, 54.5%. We round up in this business, 55% for the running Utes in the opening 28 trays. Rattlers knocked down 7 shots from the perimeter. Their big issue, 10 turnovers that Utah turned into 16 points off of those turnovers. And again, the bench showing out for Utah tonight.
Well, remember in the opening, Chris, we talked about 39 points from the bench in the running Utes last game, which was a season high. They've already got 33 points, so who knows what the ceiling is for this team and their long and talented bench.
Well, the Big 12 basketball season is on the horizon for these running Utes. Catch all 10 Utah home games at the Huntsman Center for just $120 in the Upper Bowl. Get single game or the Big 12 conference plan at UtahTickets.com. That's UtahTickets.com. Pretty good deal. $12 a game to see some of the best in the country. The Big 12 sent 8 teams to the Big Dance last season. Utah's first Big 12 home tilt will be on January 4th, welcoming in a Texas Tech team that's performed very well throughout their non-conference slate. Grant McCasland, the second-year Red Raider head coach, has that team very much in the NCAA tournament conversation here early in the season. And the Utes will make a couple trips away from Salt Lake City before then. Sioux Falls, South Dakota to take on the Iowa Hawkeyes on Saturday this weekend, and then 10 days off before that Big 12 opener, New Year's Eve and afternoon tilt in Waco against the Baylor Bears.
Chris, I don't know if you noticed, we came back from halftime with that picture of Santa there. That great big lump of coal. I think that's for you. I don't know. I thought it had your name etched on there.
I thought I made the nice list this year.
It just said Chris and then initial S on the end. I'm just
could have been another guy.
Yeah, could have been someone, but I'm just saying.
I'd wager there's another Chris S hanging around somewhere in the Beehive State.
And Utah comes out with their original starters with Hunter Erickson starting the second half, and Mike Sharafjom was so good coming off the bench. Coach Smith said, well, let's try it again this half.
Jordan Chapman boards his miss from distance. His second effort here for the Rattlers, just their 4th offensive rebound tonight. Washington fades, fires, and it trickles off, tapped back skyward. Taylor in among the trees, puts it back.
Utah out-rebounded the Rattlers 21-16 in that first half, but no quitting the Rattlers here to start the second half.
Gritty opening possession for FAMU. Preseason pick to finish 11th out of 12 teams in the SWAC this year. Madsen fires away. It wiggles out. Nero Little grabs the second effort for Utah.
Nero Little at the point guard is the second leading rebounder on this team and the 9th leading defensive rebounder in the entire Big 12.
Little misses the straight on 3. Lovering crashing into the Utah bench, could not save it.
Little having trouble finding his range tonight. 0 for 4, all of them from the 3-point line.
Came in shooting 34% from distance. No question he's a pass-first point guard, but any type of offense and scoring he provides can be a big plus for this Utah team. Milton Matthews finds Chapman. He swings it to Taylor.
Nice defense guarding the ball there. This Utah team does a really nice job guarding the dribble drive.
Last moment hoist, and Leonard Taylor could not connect. Nice defense playing through the shot clock for Utah. Utes in search of their first second half points. Asar backs in Matthews across the lane, and Lovering couldn't finish the flush, but he was fouled on the way up.
A very unique characteristic of this running Ute team that has developed is how well they make those paint-to-paint, big-to-big passes here. And Asar, that's the second time, maybe third time tonight, as he reads the double team, and then Lawson Levering is the recipient of his great passing out of the post.
Utah hoping to shoot it better from the free throw stripe this second half after missing 10 of their 16 attempts from the stripe in the opening 20.
About 37.5 from the free throw line. As I said earlier, that's been kind of a bugaboo with them all year, only shooting 67%, and they are extraordinarily bad tonight. And that's one of those things as a coach, the more you talk about it, the more of an issue you make out. Sometimes the worse it gets. Sometimes you're better off not even addressing it, other than, hey guys, we need to make our free throw.
Second one bounces in for the big fella. He's got 6 points tonight. 18-point lead for the Utes at home. Eatman, it's deflected and stolen by Miro Little. The hit ahead to Madsen, and he misses the tomahawk. Taken back by Asar, and he rattles the lamps out on Campus Drive.
Nice steal by Little, nice pass ahead, and Gabe Madsen would like to have 2 or 3 of those back this year. He's missed about 3 of those like that. He's tried to throw down and couldn't make go all the way down.
That was Utah's first made field goal of this second half. Deep 3 from Sterling Young, and he missed everything.
Watch this steal by Miro Little, who leads the team in steals. They're actually tied with Wallin, and Gabe Madsen just a little power shortage there, and Asar there to kind of clean the mess up.
Madsen knifes inside, drops it off, and Lovering powers it through.
Just a textbook in their half-court movement, passing, spacing. This is as good as I've seen Utah play in half-court offensively. And none of these are set plays. They're just playing. They're just playing good half-court team basketball.
Jameen Charles spins to his left, and it rolls off. There's Madsen going baseline. Little to the rack. Had it knocked away. And reached in on this drive. A foul on Florida A&M, second on the Rattlers this half.
This is the epitome of great ball movement, great people movement, and unselfishness, as Gabe Madsen is the recipient of that ball reversal. The more times you can get the ball reversed, the higher your percentage is going to be, your shooting percentage is going to be. And the Utes got that ball moved, and they're about to score yet again on an end-out-of-bounds play. I bet they've got 5, maybe 6 baskets on end-out-of-bounds play.
Patrick Crary not happy with his team's defense out of that last inbound pass, and can't be happy with that unforced giveaway. A timeout on the floor. Utah 7-2 start to the second half, up 24 in their final non-conference home game.
Big O Tires has more than 460 locations nationwide. Chances are there's a location near you. Owned by someone in your neighborhood, we offer a wide range of diagnostic, repair, and routine maintenance services, backed by one of the best national service warranties, because everyone in our community deserves legendary care. Big O is the team you trust.
I can't express the importance of the donations that we get towards everything in our athletic department.
Every year you see somebody's life change.
It's an incredibly rewarding experience to know that you're supported by people who see the work that you put in.
Being able to have this opportunity and play for such an amazing fan base has been a dream come true.
Yeah, it's just thinking about that gives me a little goosebumps. It's the energy that gives us the extra push.
If teamwork is part of you, If passion is part of you, if dedication is part of you, if compassion is part of you, if purpose is part of you, if caring is part of you, be part of University of
of a non-league schedule so far this season, including games at UConn, played Gonzaga opening night in Spokane, played a couple tough games in the Bahamas, and that will be quite the opening Big 12 test for this Utes team. Got another tough game before then over the weekend against a quality Iowa Hawkeyes squad.
4 teams in the pack are in the Big 12 in the top 25 right now. Last year, when there were only 12 teams in the league, they sent 8 of them to the NCAA. That's any indication of the strength of the league.
Ezra Asar spins and scores. He's got 10 points.
Asar having a very impressive night now with his 6th double-digit figure scoring game of the short season.
Had a steal there before it caught the sneaker of Jacoby Hendricks. Hey, the Big 12 only trails the SEC in conference net. Utah woke up 58th in the net this morning. The 2 losses, both quad 1 losses, and no shortage of quad 1 opportunities on the horizon for this running Utes team. Hendricks had it, but he stepped out.
Well, those 2 losses that the Utes suffered were from teams. Mississippi State now is in the top 25. St. Mary's earlier in the week, both teams combined were 18-2, 9-1 apiece. I've not checked in the last 2 days, but they've lost to 2 very, very good teams.
Kip Kissinger handing Patrick Crary a technical foul and putting Gabe Madsen at the free throw line for a pair.
Watch Gabe Madsen's technique on this free throw. I've talked about it before, how he gets it right to his shooting pocket there and lines it up and holds his follow through. That's really textbook. Even though he missed one earlier in the night, coming into this game, he was 24 of 27, 89%. As they say back home, that ain't love, but it ain't bad.
11-0 stretch put together by Utah the last 2.5 minutes. It's Little spinning down low and rejected by Charles. It's going to stay here. Miro Little still looking for that first field goal tonight. He's now missed all 5 of his attempts.
4 of those were 3-point shots that he had lined up pretty well, but just couldn't make one drop.
Lovering bumping and missing inside, and it's off the fingertips of Ezra Asar.
Miro Little has 4 double-digit games this year. Was averaging just under 10, 9.2 coming into this game. But as I said, he's a 2nd leading rebounder on this team at 6 rebounds a game, and also leads them in assists and assist to turnover ratio. About a 3-to-1 assist to turnover ratio for Miro Little. So even when he's not scoring, he does a whole bunch of other things to help his team.
Foul away from the basketball on Hunter Erickson.
Hunter Erickson got switched to a big guy on that ball screen on the roll, and I tell you what, when he does that, he goes to war physically with the post guy he's trying to guard down there. He got caught that time. In their last game, we did a video on him, a highlight that showed him battling down there, where he won that battle and forced the big into a travel.
Washington glides in and tapped it back. That was awfully close from hanging around on the cylinder.
Yes, it was.
Second chance points for Caleb Washington, who's played well tonight. 9 points, 3 boards, 3 assists. And Sterling Young commits the reach-in foul on Miro Little.
If you had brought that whistle I told you to, Chris, we could have called that from over here. Maybe got away with it, but you sometimes just don't follow all my instructions coming into the game.
I'm a bad listener, Coach. It's probably why I'm on the naughty list and getting that big lump of coal.
Well, I said, you're becoming a little more coachable, but we need a little more time. Wow, that was a quick burst of speed there.
Roderick Hendricks couldn't finish it. And here comes Miro Little, who's fouled from behind by Washington. Third foul on Caleb Washington, junior from Mableton, Georgia.
Excuse me, Chris. Clever little point guard move there by Miro Little, sensing the guy behind him and kind of adjusting his gait and direction to cause a little collision there. And watch this, as the guy's a couple steps behind him, and Miro Little kind of forces the issue there and picks up the foul.
Well, Shaquille O'Neal's son Shakir seeing his first second half action for Florida A&M. Sidelined much of that first half with 3 fouls. Shakir in his first season at FAMU after 3 seasons at Texas Southern.
Transferring within the league, Texas Southern picked number 2 in the league this year. Grambling number 1 in the Southwest Athletic Conference.
That Grambling State represented the SWAC in the Big Dance last year.
Played Montana State, I believe, in the play-in game, which was a heck of a game. Montana State led for most of that game, and Grambling wouldn't go away and came back and ended up pulling off the win and then advancing to the round of 64.
Washington tried to feed it to Charles, but he loses the handle out of bounds. Florida A&M, they have had turnover woes all night, and that's their 15th.
Utah now playing with that big lineup. Jake Wallin at 6'10" at the small forward, and then Keller at 6'10", and then Caleb Lohner at the power forward at 6'8", 240.
O'Neal could not score underneath. A little helter-skelter pace. 13 minutes left in a lopsided contest. Mason Madsen. Short. Wallin grabs the second effort, and Little throws it away.
Things getting a little disjointed here. We need to, both teams can kind of use a little deep breath here. Mike Sharavjam's back in the game for Miro Little. Mike Sharavjam's all year, even though he started alongside Little, has been the backup point guard. He's been outstanding here tonight.
All right, FAMU takes a timeout to try and steady this sloppy stretch of a second half in Salt Lake City with Utah up big.
Rival, University of Iowa. Of course, Kansas, always a threat to go deep in the tournament. Cincinnati, kind of a little resurgence, so to speak, there. And University of Houston under Kelvin Sampson, they are always a threat with those great athletes and how hard they play and how they guard you.
And Kansas was tops in the country before suffering back-to-back losses at Creighton and Missouri last week. Got back on track with the win at the Fog against NC State.
The last time we had Utah against Radford just a few days ago, they played a lot with a small lineup, 3 perimeter guys around a couple post guys. Tonight, Coach Smith is playing a lot with a very, very big team, and you add Mike Sharov-Jones at 6'8" to the point guard position. You're talking about one of the biggest teams in the nation.
Wallin kicks. It's Mason Madsen for 3.
Mason Madsen, while his brother leads the Big 12 in threes made, he's 6th in the league with made threes and 8th in three-point field goal percentage. They are quite the dynamic duo when it comes to the three-point line.
Sterling Young still scoreless tonight. Now 0 for 8 from the field.
Their leading scorer, coming off a game where he only played 15 minutes and had 25 points, 7 of 9 from the field, 6 of 7 from the three-point line. So he's having a very surprisingly poor game here in the Huntsman Center.
The running Utes eyeing second chance points. Shot clock into single digits. Keller spins left, almost wrapped it in, and a late whistle.
Mason Madsen, like his brother, shooting it in from 3. He gets the steal, gets the pass back, and the Utes just continue to shoot it in. Come on back, folks.
Our generation isn't turning away from the world's problems. Watch us fly ahead, rise to every challenge, and overcome anything. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
Well, put me on the naughty list. This has never happened before. Let's see. And that, people, is why we have Target Circle 360.
Hey, dear! Don't miss anything on your list with unlimited same-day delivery.
Now is the perfect time to get away during the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. With 0 payments for 90 days on select models. Plus, every Hyundai is backed by America's best warranty. Hurry to the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event before this great offer ends. Drive away now in one of our most popular models with 0% APR and 0 payments for 90 days. Only during the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event.
around. Now they're back on the road for an extended period of time. That's kind of life in the SWAC.
A lot of fundraising games. This is their 6th Power Conference game. They'll play 7 by the time it's all said and done.
And the Utes' woes from the free throw line continue, and Coach Smith continues to play this big lineup together.
No soft spots rest of the way for Utah.
And as I tell Craig Smith, now the varsity season begins as they get into Big 12 play, and no one's more aware of it than him, I guarantee you.
Leonard Taylor buries the step back 3. Florida A&M has only scored 7 points since halftime.
And the Utes just continue to build on that great bench strength. They've had 10 guys score and 8 guys have an assist.
Madsen's open, and he cashes in from long range.
Mason Madsen now 4 of 8 from the three-point line. Really kind of finding his rhythm here. He's got 5 double-digit games. He's the 4th leading scorer on the team, averaging just under 11 points. Anytime you got 4 double-digit scores on your team, you're got pretty good balance and you're scoring the ball pretty well.
Keller across the lane, and the big tight end Caleb Lohner rumbling downhill earns a couple more free throws.
We were talking about Mason Madsen kind of feeling tonight. He's made 5 threes, or had 5 games where he's made 3 games where he's made 5 threes. Excuse me. So him shooting it in is really not something we haven't seen this year.
Utah matching their 3-point made total from Saturday's 81-63 win over Radford. Utah averaging about 11.5 made threes per game this season, which is good for 7th in the country, tops in the Big 12.
You know, it's interesting. That really is not the way Craig Smith plays. He's kind of an inside-out guy usually, and we talked about it a little bit. He said, you know, this is not really my philosophy to run down and shoot a bunch of threes, but he said, you know, we've kind of been taking all year what the defense gives us, and we've been making them. So, you know, we've kind of morphed, so to speak, into a 3-point shooting team, which doesn't mean they don't go inside. It just means they've got a good group of shooters, and they're taking what the defense gives them.
Remember, Utah opened the season by setting a single-game program record with 19 threes in consecutive games against Alcorn State and Central Arkansas.
In that second game, they made 19 threes, and all, which, as you said, tied the school record. Also set the school record by taking 53 point attempts in that game.
That is absolutely taking what the defense gives you. O'Neal skips it. Washington has it roll off the sneaker of shot of jumps. It pinballs around, somehow stays in, and here come the running Utes. They give it right back. Shakir O'Neal with the steal.
The 8th turnover for the Utes. There, Mason Madsen a little bit loose with the ball, so to speak, and now going to pick up a foul on his post defense.
The foul was not on the shot. It was away from the basketball on Mason Madsen. Trey Lewis, who was a junior college All-American last season and started some games early, getting his first action of the night for Florida A&M, while Craig Smith sends a fresh 5 to the scorers table. Washington lost it. Another Rattler giveaway, their 18th turnover tonight.
Craig Smith, of his 5 coming in, 4 of them are his starters, and then Keanu Dawes, the 5th, who will come in.
Wallin spins right and scores with a kiss off the glass.
I tell you, Jake Wallin is about as handy as a shirt pocket. He, as Craig Smith said, I can just plug him in just about anywhere, and he's pretty effective.
Burnside couldn't muscle it up over the Keller defense. Madsen, you bet, his 5th triple tonight.
His 3rd game with 5 made threes this year.
Utah pouring it on now. A 23-5 surge the last 10 minutes. The defense has been really good this second half. Washington tried to line drive from long range.
We've been kind of concentrating on how good they've been on offense. They've been awfully good on defense.
Well, an offensive foul on Caleb Lohner will take us to a timeout. It's raining threes in Salt Lake City tonight. Mason Madsen has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the Runnin' Utes, rolling at home in their final non-conference.
Not much execution. There's been not much drop off by these Runnin' Utes in the second half, especially at the defensive end.
FAMU just 3 of 16 from the field since we got the second half started. Lewis, Eatman not a threat from out there. Matthews with a hand in his face. Eatman on the offensive glass. Here comes O'Neal slithering in for the putback.
How about that? I wouldn't say up and over, but in and around the 7'1" Lovering, and let Lawson Lovering catch it like that, rolling to the basket. That's not going to have a very good day.
Lawson Lovering now with 10 points.
His 4th double-figure game in the 5 games he's played this year.
Count it, and a foul for Jadarius Eatman.
Watch O'Neal on this double clutch here. Nice pass from his teammate. Went up between 2 big defenders. Great concentration and a great completion by the big kid.
As great as Pops was, he didn't have that type of quickness.
No, but Pops would have just
broke
the backboard on that, and maybe someone's arm if they got in the way.
Gabe Madsen tees it up. In and out.
Gabe Madsen, by my count, only needs 35 more made threes to tie Nick Jacobson for the all-time leading three-point shooter in the history of running youth basketball.
Only Shaquille O'Neal with some impressive finishes.
Well, he was one of 3 guys who scored 20 points in that game where they scored 130 against Trinity out of Florida.
Erickson trying to get on the board. It spins off the cylinder. Lovering grabs the second effort, and Little misses the left-hand layup. Dawes, nice pursuit. Erickson.
Erickson, after having that great shooting night on Saturday night, can't hardly find the bottom of the net tonight.
Milton Matthews to the free throw line. Also, FAMU, this is a rebuilding year for their first-year head coach, Patrick Crary. They won just 6 games all of last season, went 4-14 in the SWAC. And you got to go back to 2007. That was the last time they finished a season above 500. They made the big dance that year, one of 3 appearances in their Division I history in the NCAA tournament. That was a year after the great Joe Cravens traded in his clipboard for a headset.
And I remain undefeated ever since then.
Haven't lost a game.
Haven't lost a game yet.
In this seat.
In this seat. And I come across a whole lot smarter than I was as a coach.
I don't know.
Smoke and mirrors.
Those championship rings you wear are pretty bright and shiny.
Well, I tell you what, it's been a you sleep a lot better at night doing this job than you did. Sometimes I look across the court at Craig Smith and coaches like Patrick Crary, and I think, oh, boy, I remember those days. This is going to be a long, sleepless night for those guys.
They'll spend a few more nights here in Utah as they visit Provo and BYU Friday. Miro Little misfires, and Lohner whistled for an over-the-back foul. FAMU in the bonus, so the Rattlers will trot down to the other end and take a 1-and-1 free throw.
I tell you, Craig Smith has done a great job with this team. Remember, he's got 10 newcomers here. Florida A&M 10 newcomers. You know, Chris, I'm starting to think that is the rule anymore, not the exception. I mean, almost every team I've broadcasted this year is a product of that transfer portal where, you know, it's 9, 10, 11. You know, even more of that. It's just like at the end of the season, everyone throws their cards in and they're reshuffled and then dealt back out again. It's really a different time in college athletics in general now than it has been just a few years ago.
You know, the portal and NIL has completely changed the landscape of college basketball. Nice feed from Lohner to Ezra Sarr for 2. But it's tough, especially as a mid-low major program like FAMU and a few of the others we've seen roll through Salt Lake City this early season. It's tough to build a program and find consistency when you don't have that within your roster.
Well, I think it's always been hard at that level, and it has just gotten almost impossible, because if you develop a kid and he's gotten pretty good, then the guys above you will come down and steal him, pay him a little money or whatever, you know, goes with this NIL deal. The biggest insult I've heard about the transfer portal is I heard that the Utah mascot Swoop is entering the transfer portal. I don't know what they'll do. I guess they'll have to adopt a new mascot. Swoop is leaving.
Is he really?
Probably got a little NIL money, I guess. I don't know. At times my wife has encouraged me maybe to enter the transfer portal, but I still stick around.
Well, she gave you a pretty good NIL deal a while back.
Yeah.
Lohner scores off the feed from shot-up jumps.
Nice pass and a nice finish by big Caleb Lohner. 4 touchdown passes for Caleb Lohner this year.
And 3 field goals for big Caleb Lohner tonight. 3 for 3 from the field. He's got 8 points. A touchdown and a 2-point conversion.
He is a very impressive athlete. Great lateral quickness. Great quickness to the basket.
All right, we know you're eager for these final 3 minutes and 46 seconds from the Huntsman Center. The Utah Utes up 29 over Florida A&M.
There is no life I know to compare with your imagination. Take a look and you'll see into your imagination.
Now is the perfect time to get away during the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. With 0 payments for 90 days on select models. Plus, every Hyundai is backed by America's best warranty. Hurry to the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event before this great offer ends. Drive away now in one of our most popular models with 0% APR and 0 payments for 90 days. Only during the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event.
At Burger King, we flame grill our burgers. Why? Because that's how it should be done. Hot, juicy, smoky, flame grilled, and made your way. Come experience the flame grilled difference with 2 Whopper Juniors for just $5.
For the love of Fußball, derbies, ultras and Humba, and every match on ESPN+.
Nothing like in the Bundesliga.
For the love of braces and hat-tricks.
With a belter!
Belters and wonder goals.
Oh, that's a wonder goal!
Number 9s and
In the Utes, a rematch from last season's NIT. Iowa off to an 8-3 start, 1-1 in the Big Ten. Lost their most recent game to number 3 Iowa State. It'll be one of the first Big 12 games on the docket for Utah after opening at Baylor and hosting Texas Tech. O'Neal as time expires on the 30, and Wallin clears it away.
Jake Wallin now with 7 points, 5 rebounds. He's become quite handy, as I've said, off that bench now.
Shot of jump, stops and pops, and a shooter's touch. Boy, he's been on point tonight, Coach.
He now tied Mason Matson for the high score for the Utes at 15 apiece. Sharaf Johnson season high and career high is just 19. He's had quite the night tonight.
Chapman buries the corner tray. And shot up jumps efficient too. 6 of 7 from the field. 3 of 4 from distance. Had that 19-point outing here a month ago against Queens.
Boy, they really needed him to get back on track, which is exactly what he has done tonight. He gives him so much versatility with his size. Where he really is handy is against zones, because at 6'8", even as a 2-guard or a 3-man, or a lot of times as a point guard, he has the ability to throw it over the top of the zone that we've seen. Hadn't seen a lot of zone this year, but he is especially effective offensively against the zone.
Caleb Lohner fouled out moments ago. Zach Keller back on the floor to take his place. Hendricks. O'Neal down to the floor.
Good
and
hustle.
Possession arrow gives it back to Utah.
Good hustle by a couple Utes there, getting down on the floor. As I said, that kind of is a trend setter there.
Craig Smith's going to empty out his bench. His son Brady Smith, Jerry Huang, Jewel Karam. Bombseel has checked in too.
And he's left Keanu Dawes in, which I think is a good thing. In fact, great pass by Keanu Dawes there.
And that's Bombseel powering it down with his first points right off the Utah bench.
So the great teamwork, great passing continues regardless of who's in the game for the running Utes.
24 assists for Utah tonight. Miles Hall, junior from Windermere, Florida, on the board with his first points. Brady Smith finds Huang, and he wraps it in.
Brady Smith with a nice assist.
The redshirt freshman from Taiwan on International Utes Night here inside the Huntsman Center. Sterling Young, boy, it's been that type of night for FAMU's leading scorer.
Boy, he has had a hard time. I mentioned earlier, coming off a game where he went 7 of 9 from the field, 6 of 7 from the 3-point line.
Brady Smith goes to the bank.
And let's hope that his grandparents, Vern and Beverly Smith, back in Stephen, Minnesota, stayed up to see their grandson get his first basket as a running Ute.
That missed his first 7 attempts this season, but you can never go wrong using that square on the backboard.
Let's see the son of Craig Smith get his first basket, and look at the bench. And again, everyone in Stephen, Minnesota can relax and enjoy the win, and Vern and Beverly's grandson getting his first basket.
Keanu Dawes off the window and in.
Powering his way there. Keanu Dawes, who's had some real highlights this year, a double-double down in their loss at Mississippi State. And has kind of had his minutes cut back a little bit. It's good to see him back on the floor and contributing.
Jameen Charles with the bucket for Florida A&M. But the Utah running Utes pieced together an impressive performance tonight from wire to wire and win their final 2 non-conference games at home and take some momentum to Sioux Falls, South Dakota for a showdown with Iowa on Saturday, nationally televised on ESPN2. 89-59 your final score. Utah wins its penultimate non-conference game by 30 points over Florida A&M.
Well, I thought a pretty good showing at both ends of the court. Mason Matsons and Mike Sharafjan sharing the scoring honors with 15 apiece. And I thought, once again, the Running Utes showed their depth and talent and a great team chemistry. I think they're ready for what lays ahead with some pretty good basketball in the Big 12.
Coach, been fun working these games with you. I know you've had a few different partners here throughout the pre-Big 12 schedule, but Utes fans will be looking forward to the next time they can hear you.
Yes, my pleasure, Chris. It's a pleasure working with you as well.
All right, join us for the Big 12 opener on the women's side, Saturday, 4 p.m. Mountain Time on ESPN Plus against the Sun Devils from Arizona State. Our director, Mauricio Quijano, producer, Zach Blair, the flamboyant, Blaine, sorry, I wrote that down wrong. Of course I botched that on the way out of our last one. For Joe Cravens, I'm Chris Sylvester saying so long from Salt Lake City. All Utes all the time tonight.